This is the new reprise set for Jethro Tull in Australia. Thick as a Brick it's called. It's a rather novel cover, this one, because it opens up, as you can see, even folds down, into a tabloid-style newspaper, and we have pages and pages of gear which has been sorted out by, I suspect, Ian Anderson. And there are 4 or 5 pages through there. And the music, well, what can you say about Jethro Tull? They're absolutely fantastic. And that leads us right to our next segment, because we did get the chance to talk to Ian Anderson, leader of Jethro Tull. Ian Anderson, welcome to Australia, along with Jethro Tull.
Thanks very much.
Did you envisage this fantastic success you've had with your records when you first began in music?
No, not really, because, as I think I was saying before, my main reason for going into it was just to really for fun, and the fact that I was not a particularly welcome member of the family at the time I disappeared from it temporarily. To be a rock and roll star at the age of about 18, actually. About 18. But I lived off my ailing father for a couple of years, which he didn't appreciate very much, you see, after I fled from school. And I don't know, he thought I was really going to miss out on everything. But he really likes me now, He really likes me, he thinks I'm a good bloke.
Did you actually fall into rock music, or was this a planned campaign?
Well, I don't know about rock music. We fell into blues music. But we were sort of pushed, really, by the necessity of earning a living. At the time, blues was the idiom of contemporary music in England that, 4 or 5 years ago, that was commercially acceptable within the club circuit, where you inevitably have to begin. Yeah. So that's what we did. But, I mean, we never really did it with much conviction, because I'm the wrong color. I mean, seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
For Britain at that time?
No, I was the right colour there, yeah. Unless I wanted into the wrong part of Manchester or somewhere. Yes. No, I was the right colour, but the wrong colour for singing that kind of music, which I really believe, belongs with the black man.
I see. Despite Joe Cocker, people like him.
Sure, despite anybody who has to sing with an affected American accent, yeah. And with mannerisms and to match, simply because they happen to feel the earthiness of the music, which is undeniably there. But why affect a whole vocal style, which is just unnatural to the Caucasian voice? Because you've really got to try to sing that way. Ian, desperately hard, and I can't sing that way, and it's not me.
You seem very sure that everybody should make up their own mind about all things, specifically music.
Yeah, all things, specifically not the things that are bright and beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I just believe that everybody, if they make a conscious effort, I mean, we're all here doing whatever we're doing, and we might as well get on with it, and, why risk the sidetracking influences of drugs, which are only proportionate to boredom, yeah. That everybody feels, basically through a lack of security. Sometimes through security, more often because they're, I suppose, just plain old lazy when it comes down to it. I mean, we might as well get on with making assessments and judgments and analyses of situations in music and art of all kinds. Even if we don't have the ability, we might as well get on with trying, there's damn all else to do. Well, now, you can go around going like this to everybody, but it doesn't really get you very far in the long run.
With this attitude in mind, then, do you get any pleasure from receiving gold records for the number of sales you've made?
Well, I suppose I get a kind of inverse sort of pleasure, in as much as it's a symbol of pleasure that you may conceivably have given to other people, rather than what you personally get out of getting a gold record. I mean, a wooden one would look nicer, wouldn't it? In actual fact.
Possibly would.
Well,
now, is this important to you, making other people happy then? You're not so concerned with what comes out of you musically?
As long as it's part of a coincidence, it's important to me, to see it there. But I'm not sufficiently benevolent as a musician to go around, raving around the world like a lunatic just to make people smile for a night, or make records simply to have them sit in their front room and get stoned quietly and think, wow, man, far out. Yeah. I mean, No, I do it basically for me, you know, which is the most honest reason I could have for doing it. I don't have to make compromises to people that way, except to some extent the other guys in the group, just as they would make to me, but that's within the unit that produces the music. So, I mean, that's fair enough.
What kind of music interests you apart from what you're doing yourself? Anything in particular? Like the classic, for instance.
Well, you know, anything interests me if I'm exposed to it, but I take care not to be, because I don't like being aware of other people's music, because inevitably I'm influenced by anything I see or hear around me. That's how I write music anyway, write songs, because I walk around, hopefully, with at least one of my eyes open anyway. And listening to other music is bound to rub off in some way, and because a lot of the other music I hear I really don't like, I find it bad, although it's catchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Catchy. And I don't want to get caught up in that kind of the commercial aspects of repetition. I don't really like repetition unless it serves a very definite purpose musically within the context of a whole piece. It's sometimes worthwhile, but you know, I prefer...
Let us have it.
Sure. I mean, if you listen to that record, there's a lot of... there is some repetition, but not a great deal.
How do you see your future progressing from this point? What do you have in mind for your future? More of the same?
No, definitely not, no. That's really the point, that I don't want to do more of the same. That I think every record and every year has to be different. You know, if we ever turned out two successive records which were good and were in the same vein, the second one wouldn't be good, I mean, to me. Because it's necessarily to keep moving, yeah. I mean, if it has to be a terribly conscious effort to do something different for the sake of being different, well, that's wrong. But as long as we're lucky enough to keep, you know, naturally coming up with something which feels different, has a different set of experiences behind it, perhaps different intellectual concept behind it, then that's fine. So long as it comes naturally, it's something born out of a year's being older, you know.
Ian, thank you very much for your time. A lot of people waiting for you. Come back and see us again.
Thanks very much.
A most interesting and certainly a very articulate character. And I think those of you who saw him enjoyed the music very much.